Hello and welcome, crafty friends. This is Denise Cox of Bird's Nest Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Trail, British Columbia, Canada. And today's video is to highlight my April Stamp of the Month Club, which features the potted geranium stamp set. Look how beautiful that is. This is in the annual catalog, the 2022-2023 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. It is a really, really great set. It's got beautiful imagery and so many great sayings, and the font is just perfect. So this is one I was really excited to highlight. And again, this is for my Stamp of the Month Club. So if you're interested at all in that club, please head on over to my website, which is createwithbirdsnest.ca, and you can click on classes and clubs, and all of the information on my Stamp of the Month Club is highlighted there, along with a link to register. You can register from anywhere in Canada. The fee for the class is $45, plus $5 for shipping. Of course, if you're local, you can have free local pickup. It includes the stamp set, as well as 3 cards already, all the pieces prepped and ready to go. And then you just need to use your stamp set and your own inks and adhesive and create the cards. So every month I come on and I highlight one of the cards that kind of pulls together the features that are in the stamp set. I don't give any of the measurements in the video today. Those are for my club members. So if you'd like the measurements, then you can head on over and join the club. When you register for the club, you have 3 options. First, you can register for a 6-month subscription, which is your best deal. And that's the price I mentioned earlier, $45 plus the $5 shipping. If you just want the 1 month, so if you were just wanting the potted geraniums, then you can do that too. The fee for that one is $55 plus $5 for shipping if you're not local. And you includes exactly the same thing. So you get a $10 discount for getting the subscription. It's a 6-month subscription, which is great, or the 1 month. The other option is if you do not live in Canada and you would like to purchase a tutorial, those will soon be available up on my tutorial store as well. So watch for that if you're not here in Canada. Okay, so let's get crafting. As I mentioned, I won't be giving measurements. Those are exclusive to my club, but I do want to share this card with you and all the beautiful bits and pieces of the potted geraniums bundle. So here is the stamp set. Here are the gorgeous dies. And what I love about this is that there are so many dies here that are going to cut out these images, and that ring light's driving me crazy. Okay, so we've got, maybe if I switch sides, there we go, that's better. Okay, so we've got the pot, which is going to cut out our pot. Now these are not to size, so these are going to be a little different, but there's the pot, right? And then we've got this one that's going to cut out our greenery. We've got the stake, right? So this is going to cut out our stake here. And then we've got this one, which is going to cut out these flowers. And I think that might be all. Okay, so those are all beautiful dies to cut out. Of course, this one will also cut these guys, and this one will also cut out bits of this. But these are meant to be 2-step stamping. So we have great dies that cut out the images. We also have 2-step stamping. We have a beautiful font. And then we pull in the dies, and these are what's left, and these are extra elements, and I love this. So on today's card, we're going to use this beautiful label. You can create your own die cut geraniums by die cutting out the greenery and then the leaves, and there's 2 for each. So sorry, there's not 2. This here, these 3 are going to combine together. This is your greenery. You're going to create your flowers. This is an extra element. Here's a label for your pot, and this could be dirt that would sit at the bottom of your geraniums. So this is absolutely beautiful die set. So I did want to highlight that. Now we are not going to be using all of the dies. We are going to be using the ones that cut out the images. So these guys here. So I'm just going to set those off to the side over here. And let's get stamping. So the color combination for today's card is soft suede, real red, and garden green. We're also going to be using the brushed brass butterflies, one of my favorite elements from the annual catalog, as well as one of the folders, so this guy right here, from the Basic 3D Embossing Folder Collection, which is one of the current online exclusive items. So head on over to my Stampin' Up! Store if you want to check out the online exclusives. These are not in any of the catalogs, they're only online. So be sure to check them out. I think it was $41 and you get all 3 of these wonderful embossing folders. So like as I mentioned, this is the one that I'm using today. Okay, so we're gonna start with a real red card base. Give that a fold. If you're watching along and you're in my Stamp of the Month club, then all of your pieces are already pre-cut, as I mentioned, in there, so you can just assemble them as I am. And if you're watching along and you're liking this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my page here on YouTube. I do post weekly videos, and I'm hoping to start posting a few more. Occasionally I already do, but it'd be nice to get a few more up there to share with you. Okay, then we're gonna take Very Vanilla panel here and we're gonna attach a garden green panel that is already embossed with that beautiful embossing folder I just shared with you. So I'll use my Stampin' Seal, or Stampin' Seal, that's right. It used to be snail. Okay, so we're gonna attach that on here. Oops, pull this a little closer to me. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and we'll attach that to the front of the card. If you'd like to join in on the Stamp of the Month Club and receive the potted geraniums kit, the deadline to register and pay is the first Saturday of the month always. So this time it is April 1st, and then you'll receive the April potted geraniums kit. So we've got that done. Now I'm going to take a scallop rectangle. Now I cut this using the Scalloped Contours dies. Okay, these are also available in the annual catalog. And I've cut a piece of Regal's Collection Garden Green pattern paper. Okay, so any of the patterns in Garden Green would look really great here. I've just chosen to use the plaid here, but we could use those hexagon dots. We could use any of the ones. The floral one would probably be really pretty here as well. So I'm just gonna attach that onto the front. And then we'll go ahead and attach the entire piece to our card front. And I'm gonna put it a little more to the left. Okay, so that looks very crooked to me. Let me just see if I can straighten that a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna do some stamping. So on Very Vanilla, I'm going to start with my soft suede ink. And I'm also going to grab my card insert. I'm going to do a bit of stamping on there as well. Put those up there. So, as I mentioned, this is a 2-step stamping set. And we're going to start by doing the little pot. And I'm doing that in soft suede. So what I'm going to do first is take the detailed kind of shadow image. And I'm going to stamp that on here. And then I'm going to take the pot, the more solid one, I'm going to stamp it off. Oh, that didn't ink up very well. There we go. Stamp it off. And then I can line it up here. Stamp that down to create that pot. So I've used one ink color and created 2 different shades to create the pot, which I love. All right, now we're going to stamp our little tag, our little stake here. Okay. And I'd like to put the word friend inside, so I'm going to just ink that up. Move that a little closer to me. There we go. Beauty of having photopolymer, right? It's so easy to line them up. So we've got that. And then on our little die cut label that I mentioned we had here. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Well, we'll just make it work. We'll figure that out. So we're going to use wishing you happiness today and always. Now I could flip it. I always say there's 2 sides to every piece of paper, but you can clearly see that that is supposed to be the back. So I'm going to just try and line up my sentiment so you don't see that smush. There's always a way. See, not so bad, right? There's always a way to fix things. I always tell myself it's only paper and it doesn't hurt to try, right? Worst case, we could have just recut another label. So there is our sentiment one. And now we're done with our soft suede. Oh, no, we want to stamp in the inside. That's what I was going to do. So for the inside, the front is going to say wishing you happiness today and always. The inside is going to say not the same thing right here. Birthdays are reminders that life should be celebrated. I love that. So we'll go ahead and we'll stamp that on the inside of our card. Like I mentioned, this has got great sentiments in the potted geranium stamp set, and I love that it's kind of like an all-in-one. You've got great sentiments, great imagery, and fabulous dies. So it's kind of a win-win in all categories. All right, so let's go now to our garden green. And we're going to stamp our leaves and our stem. So I'm starting again with my detailed stamp, and we can just set this one aside for a minute. We will pull it back in because I'm going to add some flowers, but for now we're going to stamp our greenery, garden green. That. And then I'm going to pull in the solid image part. Again, this is 2-step stamping. I'm inking it up. I'm going to do the same technique. I'm going to stamp it off and then come in here. Perfect. I love it. Isn't that great? Again, we've used the 2 tones with the same color ink. So you don't have to have every ink color to be able to do these. You can just use the same one and do that stamp off technique. Okay, so that is the green. Now we're going to use our real red. I chose red because when we first moved into the house we're in right now, our neighbor next door had beautiful red geraniums all over her yard, and I just loved the look of them. And I thought, I'm going to have that in my yard one day too, those beautiful flowers. And I did for a bit, and now we have puppies. And well, my backyard looks nothing like it used to. It will one day again. Anyway, so we've stamped that. I'm going to add some flowers to the inside. This is the solid flower, or not the solid, sorry, the detail solid. The detailed flowers for the geraniums. Okay. And then we're going to do our same technique. So 2-step stamping, but stamped off. And we can line that up. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay. So stamp that off. Stamp this. Just lining this up. Okay, there we go. That is our stamping done. So the inside of our card is complete. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the inside before I end up getting ink on it or misplacing it. It's amazing how many things can get lost on your desk when you're creating and stamping, right? I know I can't be alone when all of a sudden I'm like, I just had that. Where'd it go? It's usually my adhesive or my scissors, something like that. Sometimes a die goes astray. Okay, there's the inside of our card. Isn't that cute? And we'll finish that up in a minute. So now I'm going to pull in my mini boss machine. We'll just zoom this out a little. You're going to see more of my messy desk, but that's okay. Put this way. No, we're going to put it this way. And we're going to pull in our plates. So we're using dies, which means like little framelets. So we're going to need our number 1 and 2 plates. So both number 2 and our number 1. And then we can line these dies up. Oh. Okay, and I don't know if you guys have seen the E technique, but on this particular machine, I do need to create the E. And what that means is we've got our white plate sticking out, our clear plate, the first one, in a bit, and then when we line this up, our second one is going to be up. So when you look at it from this way, it's got kind of like a letter E, right? A capital E. So we call that the E technique. Okay. One of my other machines, I don't need to do that, but for this particular one, I do. So if you're having trouble with your mini machine, try it out, because that might just help solve the issue. If it doesn't, the other trick to do is to put your gray plate on instead of the white one. Okay, so line this up. And we've got the pot. And then put this guy up here. Did I leave enough room? Oh, I did. Good. I was trying to make it so I could just wheel this through one time. There we go. And then we'll do our little stake down here. This one might be tight. Oops. That one's a little tight. Okay, so everything is lined up. And I can put my plate on. Again, remember I'm making that letter E. So I'm going to line up the top there. Put this down gently so that those don't move. Okay, and then I can start wheeling it through. And because I made that E, it goes through beautifully. It's going to make some terrible cracking noises, but that's okay. That's what it's supposed to do. There we go. Okay. Set that little guy aside, and we'll pull these pieces in. Okay, don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the bottom. Send me some hearts and thumbs up if you're liking today's video. As I mentioned before, I post weekly to my YouTube channel and hoping to get a few more posted in the near future. Okay, and if you subscribe, then you'll get notified each time I post a new one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom this back in a bit. There we go. Set this off to the side. I don't want to those. Okay, so now we're gonna assemble the front part here. And I'm gonna use a little bit of white glue for this. A bit of white glue here on the stem of my greenery. And I'm going to stick the pot so it's kind of tucked under that leaf, although when it's all said and done, you're not really going to be able to tell. But look how cute that is. I just love it. So sweet. Okay, so we'll give that a sec to dry. And then we're going to put a little, actually, let's go ahead and turn that over. I'm going to put a little bit here. A little bit of glue on this one. Okay, and then we're going to just stick that in. We could have done that first, I guess, but. There we go. Isn't that cute? So sweet. All right, so here's my little trick I want to do. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put one in here on the back of my friend so that it sticks out a bit when it's all assembled. And then when I flip this over, we're going to apply some dimensionals here. And I'm going to put one right over top of the bottom of the stem just for a little extra assurance that it's not going to move anywhere. Peel those off. And then we're going to sit this right down here. So just a little bit beyond that designer paper. And then we'll take our cute little red flowers that we stamped and die cut and put a couple of those. Now we can go ahead and sit these on here. Like that. And we'll go ahead and add our, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So I want it to sit here. So I'm just going to put dimensionals back here on this end. Peel those off. And then just to make sure it stays in place, a slight bit of glue there so that it can sit here. Okay, how cute is that? I love this Geraniums bundle. Okay, so let's finish it off by adding a few of our brushed brass butterflies. And let's put one over here too. And there you have it. There is our potted geraniums card. As I mentioned, this is one of the cards in my Stamp of the Month Club for April. You have until April 1st to head on over and subscribe. I will put my blog address in the description of today's video. It's createwithbirdsnest.ca. There's a clubs and classes button right there on the front. You can go ahead and click that and you'll get all the details for all my classes, including my Stamp of the Month Club. You can join from anywhere in Canada, and if you don't live in Canada, stay tuned because I will be uploading the tutorials, the written PDFs, to my tutorial store shortly. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you subscribe to my channel, and until next time, have a crafty day. Cheers!